Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be doing a video analysis on the animation of Disney's Elemental. I have picked 3 key points that I think are my expectations for how this movie will play out. I have gathered that this movie is missing raw emotion. It's not as emotional as a classic Pixar movie. The second thing is that this movie has a lot of cultural references, like a lot of culture-focused themes. And the third thing is that this movie is missing a memorable storyline. It is forgettable, apparently, and it doesn't keep you hooked on to the main theme. Alright guys, this is Future Jake here after watching Elemental, and I've got to say, it wasn't that bad. As the movie begins, we open with Ember's parents arriving by boat. At first, the screen is covered in fog, but as it clears, a hot air balloon rises into view, and behind it we get our very first look at Element City. The city looks shiny and glass-like, kind of futuristic in a way, and this contrast really sets the tone of the movie. Here's a small immigrant family arriving in a massive, unfamiliar place. That's what it seems like they're trying to set for us. The father steps off the boat in a way that feels very much like an immigrant stepping into a new country for the first time. And right away we notice how each element group is introduced through the animation. The tree people, for example, are designed with a constant secondary motion. Every step makes their leaves shake. Then we see a boat pull up, spilling water on the ground, and the puddles actually rise up and take human form. What's cool here is that the animators gave a clear difference between normal water on the ground, which is clear and has no color to it, and it's always still or pouring down from somewhere like actual water, opposed to the living water characters, which always have a bluish tint to it. That distinction helps us tell what's alive and what's not regarding the water. Now when we look at the fire parents more closely as the scene goes on, their designs resemble candles, a bright yellow center with red flames flickering at the edges. The animators keep them in constant motion with small particle effects, so it's like they're never still, always burning. Now there's a key moment when they try and board the train. They speak in their own language, as this works as a way to show more cultural differences, and at the same time a way to show creative usage of the sound design in this movie. The artists use unique burns and sizzle sounds to demonstrate how fire would sound as a language on its own, and they execute that very well. Once they are in Element City, the framing opens up to show us the bustling metropolis. Traffic, waterfalls, floating platforms, even plant people pausing to drink in water from the environment. Pixar really leans into the water physics here. You see ripples, droplets, and reflections that feel almost photorealistic. A cloud citizen bumps into the father, and the cloud design is clever. Their bodies hold shape but constantly shift at the edges, just like gas. The cloud people are animated with squash and stretch, but still looking like they're alive with their base form always staying the same. Now the sound and animation work together as well. Whenever water touches the fire family, there's an audible sizzle and you can see the smoke replace the extinguished area of the person. That detail reinforces how fragile the fire is in that environment, and you can really see the detail they put into that because water and fire are the main focuses of this film. When water pours onto a fire person, that area gets replaced by thin air and the steam just rises, and the sizzle is very apparent that it just happened. Now when the parents are searching for a home, the city looks very polished in the main areas, but when they're in the run-down moldy areas, you can see a lot of water damage and fungus and grass growing in the more poor parts of the city. It clearly shows like the low-income districts, but they do settle on one that's big enough but looks really rough. And even in these scenes they make use of water effects as they show how the run-down areas are all flooded and dripping due to the abandoned state of those buildings. Now the scene ends with a nice shot of the father lifting his baby daughter, who looks like a small little fireball with the same glowing particles rising from her head. It's a really powerful moment showing the fragileness and the strength of that family. There was a lot animation-wise to impact with this scene, and a lot of presenting to the audience of the kind of animation this team can do. And I think this film proved me very wrong that not everyone's critique about the appearance of the movie is correct. Now, the things that I thought were true in the beginning of the movie, for example, the lack of emotion, I don't think that is a fair critique simply because the bar was set so high before with earlier Disney. I think this movie has the right amount of emotion that it needs. As for the culture themes, yes, it is in the movie and it's heavy in the movie, but it's not in your face or annoying in my opinion. I think it's perfectly well meshed with the type of environment we're in, and I think it was done very well. As for the poor storytelling, I don't think it was too bad. To me, it fit with the basic story of trying to emulate the problems with the romance aspect, and I think it was done the best that this movie could provide. And I don't think it was over the top best writing I've ever seen, but for what it is, I think this movie doesn't have bad writing. I think it's a nice 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Now, what I took from Beckman in this animation is that it has the power to make things that aren't human feel alive. That's exactly what the Elemental movie does all the time. The movie shows us fire, water, and air as not just effects, but living characters with different emotions, with different cultures as well. That's a plus for the writing aspect to make it interesting. For example, the way water puddles stayed normal while water people have a tint shows the line between what's alive and what's not alive, which connects to Beckman's idea of animism. She also says animation makes us think about movement differently, and when we see that with how each group there's always something moving in its own way, like the fire characters flickering or the tree people's leaves are shaking. For me, the Elemental movie proves that animation isn't less real than live action. It actually helps tell human stories like the immigrant experience of the parents in a way that really feels real. If you check the link in the description below, I do state what AI has helped me accomplish in this video, from how to intertwine Beckman's ideas from the pages I provided to how I can analyze this from what I originally picked up from the movie. AI helped me articulate certain film terms in my analysis on the sequence I chose, but this sequence was essentially written by me with some help with synonyms that AI provided to me. The AI greatly helped me understand the article, and once I broke it down into the outline, I really could intertwine it with my sequence. Nevertheless, everything AI is stated in the description below, and I thank you all for your time and hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.